Hi, so I came across something today and I want to talk about it from a alignment, personality, connection perspective. So this is more of I'm trying to say how these people are aligning. I'm not saying it's bad, good. I'm saying these are familiarities. That's how we connect. You see, we connect through things of, I want to be like this, what's familiar, and what we're drawn to, a lot of times also what we want. So I was watching a thing came across, someone showed me a thing around Erika Kirk. And a comment that she made around J.D. Vance, that no one could replace her husband, but in a way J.D. Vance was close. And I'll leave the video. It's towards the end. It's like the last few minutes of the video. I will leave it in the link of this video. What's interesting is her expression around OSHA. She didn't combine the two of them as a couple. It was just kind of like, just not a real, welcoming expression. It was almost disdain. But with JD, it was very welcoming and smiling, and it was a very interesting perspective, especially after her husband would die after only being dead about 2 months. And no judgment. It was just the expression. And I got to thinking, let's look at alignment here. If you were to look from the words that they've spoken, my assessment would be OSHA, J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk, and Erika would have one thing in common. They all express care or love through acts of service. They really believe, they really feel, and receive and share love through acts of service. They all have that in common. However, when it comes to a belonging language of thinking the best way of doing something, Erika and J.D. Vance are the closest in alignment of how they feel, or how they think, because thinking is different than feeling. Their thinker is thinking the best way to do things. You see, even though all three of them process information through thinking the best, which not everybody does, but majority of people do, because I don't process information through thinking what is the best way to do something. I process it differently. What happens is they're processing that information. Charlie's was different than Erika's. Think about that. J.D. Vance and Erika are closer together. They both value education. Charlie did not. Otherwise, Charlie would have continued in school. And so there was some misalignment with Charlie and Erika. Now, does that mean that I'm saying Erika did anything to Charlie or made something happen to cause Charlie's unaliving? No, I'm not saying that. You can look however you want to say that, and I'm not saying she didn't either. What I'm talking about here is alignment. What I'm talking about here is people speak who they are and what they're about. And you have to watch the patterns, because they're always telling you who they are and what they're doing. And I am going to watch for the next several months what's going to be happening in this triangle between Erika, OSHA, and Vance, and JD Vance, however you want to say that. Because there are some alignment and misalignment going on. And I'm looking at it from a connection, a belonging perspective. And I found that fascinating. So if you watch the end of the video, you will watch how Erika feels. I think it was, the video is like 28 and 40 minutes, and I think it was 27 minutes. It was on the 27-minute mark, I believe, 26 or 27-minute mark that she was talking about Vance, JD and Osha. And the expression was completely different. She had separated the two of them, and I would highly watch that if you want to learn how she views the two of them. She views the two of them separately. And she likes one of them more than the other. And you can figure out by watching the two of them. Now, again, this is not meant for gossip. This is not meant to go, what's going on with the two of them? Are they having an affair? And what's going on? Is it going to divorce? And what's going to happen? Let's do some conspiracy. That's not why I'm doing this. This I'm doing to explain the difference between alignment. How do we align? How do we create attraction? Why do we go back to what? Or how do we find alignment? Because there's more to this. And if you look at JD and Osha, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, I really do, how they connected and the path they went down, there's a lot going on regarding the triangle. And then if you look at the similarities between Erika and JD, there's a lot of similarities there on how they view the world versus his current wife. And that's what I'm looking at, is how do we look at alignment? How do we look at what's familiar, and why are we drawn to that, or why do we go back to that? And what is the reasoning why? What is the thinking? Where are the connections? And that's what I'm looking at, because that will then lead you to why they speak the way they do, people, and how they gain their followership, and why they're able to do the things they do, and why you are able to create followership. So on that note, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.